Hi, it's John and welcome to episode 3 as I rewire my 746 Rollerteam Autoroller motorhome, and I put in an inverter and some other accessories as well. So I'm just going to talk you through what I've been doing over the last 3 days, and I'm close to finishing this phase, yay! And super excited to share with you how far I've got. Hey Patch, this is my dog Patch. He's a Papillon, and he is trying to rub off some water from himself on our carpet in the cab area. So I'm going to start first of all with the original battery here. So this is the original Ledger battery, and it wasn't wired quite right. So previously the dealer had put in the batteries in parallel, but really the connections to the battery are all serial because they're all connected into the main Leisure battery. So they're only really getting the benefit of one battery kind of plus a friend. So what I did last night when I worked, first of all I was working in the dark, which was quite hard with a head torch, but I managed to connect up the wires. So here are the two live connections. One comes from the other battery and the other comes from the inverter, and this is the negative that is a link to the other battery as well. And what I have just down here is the this thing down here. If you can just see it, this is a 300 amp fuse switch, and then here is a small shunt. And so the shunt originally came, this is the negative, and it came into here. Sorry, the live is red. The live came into here. But what I've done is I've reused the original cable that the dealer provided, and this runs with the other cables out the back along here, and it goes in under the seat. And I don't know if you can see under here, but under the passenger seat, it's currently connected. I can point my finger. It's currently connected just here on the live, as well as the link cable to the other battery. And then on the other side is the two negatives. So one negative goes to the inverter and one goes to the other battery. So the good news is it all worked. There's the inverter just there, this thing here. So last night I was able to turn it on, and I'm just going to quickly show you what's been happening during the day. So while I've been working, it's now lunchtime, there's a solar panel on the ceiling, and it connects. It's a 130 watt solar panel, just a single solar panel, and it connects into this thing, which is an MPPT solar controller. And what that does is has some wires, and they run down into the battery to charge it up. Now I think for the first time that's been wired. Now that I've changed the wiring, it's the first time that it'll charge both batteries properly at the same time. Treat them as like one circuit. And up here, so I can try turn this on. I don't know. Yeah, it is on. Yeah, it still works. That's good news. So that's the power on, and this is the voltage of the living area. So the two batteries, it's now 100%. It says, and that's just the vehicle battery. That's a third battery that I haven't shown you that we don't touch. So yeah, that's good news. It's up at 13.5 volts. It usually goes up to 14.4 volts, a magic number. So yeah, and we should be able to check the lights and stuff. So I think I've still got the light on up there from last night, which I just turn off. And what I haven't tested yet in earnest is the inverter, but I can turn on and show you. So if I just flip the switch here, I don't normally do that. I just left it off overnight for safety. But there's a controller. So if you look down here, the inverter has a blue cable that runs around the back, and it's just a communications cable, and it runs to this control panel that you could have anywhere in the van. So if I turn that on, the inverter's telling me that it's at 100% capacity. And so if I plug in any mains devices, like I have a fan, what else do I have in here? I have a cooker, which I think is probably too powerful. I think it's 2,500 watts, so I don't think my inverter or batteries would cope with it. But I do want to test. Tonight I'm going to test the kettle, and I might do a quick video on that, because I'd love to be able to boil a kettle. And then, so there's two jobs I haven't finished yet, and I may just leave for a little while. The first one is I bought a new shunt. So this is very fancy. This thing is a Victron shunt. What's it called? Victron Energy. I can't remember its total title. But this thing here, what it does is you connect in where that small one was that I showed you earlier, and you connect in on your neutral connections, and you run them through them. So I think I would run all the electrics for the van and also the inverter through this, because it takes 500 amps. So it's super thick, and what it does is it runs with a comms cable here into this little device. And so this I would mount on the wall or in the cupboard somewhere. I'd maybe put it in here, I don't know. Yeah, somewhere easy. And what it'll do is it'll show you exactly how much voltage and how much amps you're using at a time. So that's going to be really cool. I'm going to save that as a separate job. But what I might do is run the cable so that I don't have to take everything apart when I do it. And then another job, so that would tell me how much power I'm using, and it'd be really useful for like power hungry devices, like when I plug them into the inverter to see. And then I also bought this thing. I don't speak German very well, but it's an auto switcher. And so what it does is, I don't know if it has a diagram, I don't think it does. But basically you can plug in, it allows you to plug in your inverter into the whole electrics of the van. So the van does have power sockets like this. So there's one here, that's for 240 volts. And then there's another one here next to the TV. That's handy for an Xbox. So this one's handy for a kettle. And then there's another one down here. I think there's just 3 in total. There's one down here as well, which is useful for the sitting area. And so those, when you're not on hookup, what happens is they're just dead. Like nothing happens. But what you can do with this thing is you can connect it up, and in this motorhome it will go in a cupboard under here. That's for another video, and it'll allow the auto detection of power input, and so it'll decide if you're not on hookup, it can switch over to inverter. Now that's quite tricky because there are other things to take into account, such as the down here there's a battery charger, and I don't want the batteries to charge themselves while it pretends to be on hookup. So I haven't quite figured out how to solve that yet. There are some options I'm looking into, but at the moment I've just run a cable. So there's a cable that runs just from the front of the inverter, which is a normal 240 cable, and it just runs through here, and I've just put it in next to the fuse box. And as you can see, I'm very blessed with completely sparse electronics, so everything is quite difficult to get around. But last night I lifted up these 2 panels here, I lifted up the fuse box and was able to get this cable in. So this is just going to sit here disconnected for now, and then when I'm ready I'll probably run the cable up through this cupboard, up through the back of the control panel, and then it has to come all the way down here and then down under there. So really all for this video, just saying that there are other jobs and I'll do those afterwards. So thanks very much for watching. It's super exciting. Tonight I'm going to put all the stuff back. So I'm just going to replace that one thin cable that the dealers put in. That needs something a bit thicker. I'm going to rate it at 50 amps. And I'll do a quick video of how that goes. I'll run some tests as well. That was my dog, not me. And down here I'm going to take all this stuff, which is all the stuff that was from the front, including this, which will need some extra space cut in it to let the bigger cables through. I'll do that tonight, and then put all this stuff back, and that'll be good. So that will be Friday, and it means we can, after all this hard work, we can go away at the weekend if we want to. We're not sure if we will, but we've been going away a lot, and it's super fun, and could wake up to a nice fresh cup of coffee with this great setup. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I look forward to sharing more. Thank you. Sending my love.